I don't want you recording this or using this footage or none of that. I decline. I want a sign that says decline of use of footage. Today we're going to talk about safety wire. We got a lot of questions about it and it's just not that hard to do. So let's make it happen. Mandatory when doing safety wire, you do want a good pair of safety wire pliers. Obviously you can get them from anywhere. We have a snap-on set, which is really nice. The other things are you do want the wire. So they do come in many different gauges. This is a 0.02 and this is a 0.025. So that's easy. And then clear hose is just to make the safety wire nice and neat. We'll show you how to use that in a second. And then obviously you need the couple drill bits that we use is a 1/16. This one I believe is a 5/64. Yeah, that's right. And then this is a 3/32. So those are the main ones that I use. Obviously the bigger ones for the really thick bolts like the drain plug and bolts like that. This one just comes in handy if the drain plug is a little bit smaller or the axle bolt. And then of course these I usually use for bolts, caliper bolts, things like that, because you don't really need a massive hole. Sometimes it is a little bit easier to use a bigger drill bit instead of the small one because they do break when you're breaking through on the other side of the drill hole. Other than that, there's not much to the pieces. The only other thing which is really good to have is the punch. Okay, so what this does is it gives a starting point to the hole, and you'll see when we use it in a second, it helps the drill bit not wander around on the head of the bolt that you're trying to drill into. It's not necessary, but it really does save you time and frustration when doing safety wiring. So I'm going to show you guys how to drill this bolt. And you don't want to put it in the vise like this because you'll mess up the threads, so, when you're trying to hold the bolt tight. So what I like to do is just take a piece of paper towel, wrap it in there, and then you've got a little cushion between the threads and the bolt. And then this is what I was talking about. It's very simple. So what you do is you find the location where you'd like to drill and you just create a punch. And that's it. Now it shouldn't wander. So usually we have clean tools, but Senior left the tools dirty when he used them last.
All kinds of silicone on there.
Yeah, good old silicone.
Gross.
So this is what most of you guys will be doing, drill bit, drilling, using the punch. But if you do want to spend a little bit extra money, you'll switch from that to this, which is titanium pre-drilled bolts. You don't have to worry about having any of the drill bits or them breaking or having to drill multiple holes. The great thing is there's many holes drilled, so you don't need to worry about drilling it in the wrong location or underneath or anything like that. So definitely a better way to go, and it is much lighter. So they're about half of OEM. So 0.56, and then you're gonna get, imagine doing 50 bolts on your motorcycle. The amount of weight, the amount of weight reduction you'd have would be amazing. Okay, so as you'll see, those suckers are in there and they just look better. It's a little bit more professional looking. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you how to actually safety wire and measure the wire, because as you can see, we have a super long piece and we're not gonna use it all. So obviously you put it through one of the holes that you've pre-drilled that are pre-drilled or you've drilled yourself. And then the way to measure is basically you just wanna fold it over and then bring it down to the point. So there, that's where you'll put your Yeah, and you can do a little bit more if you wanted a little bit more slack, but we don't really need slack in caliper bolts, so I'll just put it right there. And that's it. And the other thing you can do to get the rest of the wire out of the way is you can just chop it right there, just like that. Now everything's out of your way and you can go ahead and safety wire this guy. So, easy peasy. And then make sure you have a little bit left over because you do need to hook it into the remaining bolt, just like that. So, and that's it. Then if you weren't gonna do what we do, which makes it look a little bit more professional, you would just do it right now. You would take the safety wire pliers, spin the remaining amount of wire, and then cut off the additional, leaving a little tab on there. But what we like to do is we like to cover this with a little bit of white, clear tubing, sorry. And then the little end that everybody gets their finger pricked on, or you know, when you're in a rush, that really can dig deep into your finger. We like to put the clear tubing on and then hide the little tab in the clear tubing. So all you do is you just take the clear tubing, give a little bit of a measurement. You want it a little bit shorter, obviously. So we'll do about right there. So, and then you can use your safety wire pliers, or if you have something else, just to cut it. So what you do is you just feed this through just like this. So not only does this give it a little bit more professional look, it does help it from rubbing on other surfaces like your caliper and then your, you know, wherever you've safety wired it. So, and then all we do is we just finish the safety wire job, which is putting this back. And that's it. So I'll cut a little bit more, we'll cut a little bit more of the wire off, which is I'll do about right there. And then all you do is you just fold this little tab up here so it doesn't prick any fingers, put that in. So there we go, that's the Motobros safety wire job right there. I'm gonna show you another example. This is the drain plug, which I recommend on every motorcycle. It doesn't matter if you're on the street or on the racetrack. It doesn't matter to me. I would like to see everybody safety wire their drain plug. So we did put the clear tubing on the caliper bolts. You don't need clear tubing on a location like this because obviously the heat of the motor and all that stuff, you just don't need the clear tubing. For the Grom, it does have a little plate here that protects, you know, from I guess rock chips or whatever, or even it being hit. So it protects it. We drilled a little hole right there and then we drilled a hole through the bolt. And this is just to have a good location that's not far from where the bolt is or anything like that. So same thing we do, we just measure it out. So I only need to hold the safety wire pliers right there. But for this one, I do like to do a little bit more so we can see it. And then when you go through tech, you can also see it, but it's just very, very easy. So bend it back here, put it through there. And the great thing is you can use the safety wire pliers to pull the lead of the wire through. So you don't need to use your fingers because it does get kind of tough, and then just finish it off on this side. Okay, so I'm gonna cut it with just a little bit of a lead on it like that. Just gonna use the safety wire pliers to push this little end right out of the way, right up there, just like that. Just to give you an illustration on how safety wire pliers work. So these are them. You clip the safety wire pliers on the pieces of wire. Now the safety wire pliers do have, on this particular model, it has a sleeve that slides back and clips the bottom arm in, just like that. So now it's clipped in, it won't come loose. And then on these particular ones, you have a left and a right. So you can spin either way you want to. So if you want to spin right or if you want to spin left, it will allow you to do that. And then all you do is you have the handle, which is, you know, if you have it on right, it's gonna go right. And if you have it on left, it's gonna go left. But that's it. And you just pull, let it go back in, pull, let it go back in, pull, and then that's it. Okay, so that's basically the rundown on safety wire. There are a bunch of other locations. I'll give you guys some of the ones that we usually do. Grips, so you safety wire on each end of the grip so the grip doesn't slide around when you are in the heat of summer. Banjo bolts are a good one. The other good ones are exhaust nuts. Those are really good. And you know, the usual caliper bolts and the drain plug. I do recommend, even on the street, doing the drain plug. It makes sense. I know if a customer requests it from our shop, we definitely do it right away. So, but those are a couple locations. If you guys have any questions about safety wire pliers or safety wire or where we get the tubing or anything like that, just, you know, put it in the comments and we will definitely answer those questions.